That's how a multi-billion-dollar company with hundreds of employees managed to destroy what one guy with a laptop had built. In 2019, I sold my fitness brand for 7 figures to who I thought were the smartest people in e-commerce. And then they almost completely destroyed everything I'd built. Sales plummeted, customer reviews tanked, and the brand I'd poured my heart into became a bunch of generic products on Amazon. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on e-commerce aggregators, one of the biggest disasters in the e-commerce space, and how they nearly killed my brand Beast Gear forever. I'm Ben Leonard, and this is Brand Rescue Mission. Welcome to episode 3 of Brand Rescue Mission, where I'm documenting the real-time turnaround of the brand I built, sold, and had to buy back. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what went wrong when private equity took over Beast Gear, why the entire Amazon aggregator model was fundamentally broken from day one, and the warning signs every entrepreneur needs to watch for when selling their business. When you see some of the stuff they did, you won't know whether to laugh or cry. Whether you're building a brand or thinking about an exit, this episode could save you from making the same million-dollar mistakes. This is the last of the setting the scene episodes. After this, we'll dig into what we're going to do to rescue the brand. But today, I need to give you a flavor of the chaos that caused the downfall in the first place. Let's rewind back to Halloween night 2019 at 4 minutes to midnight. We closed on the deal to sell Beast Gear to the largest aggregator to emerge in e-commerce. But what I didn't share in the last episode was what happened in the months that followed. At first, I actually became their biggest fanboy. I appeared in videos for them, talking about what a great job they were doing for Beast Gear. I was drinking the Kool-Aid because I desperately wanted to believe I'd made the right choice. But after a while, I started getting messages from customers. Ben, what happened to Beast Gear? The customer service isn't the same. This doesn't feel like your brand anymore. I brushed it off at first. Growing pains, I told myself. They're just scaling the business. Then I saw the reviews starting to change. What I'm about to share isn't just speculation. Since selling Beast Gear, I founded Ecom Brokers, where we help entrepreneurs navigate exits. I also consult with private equity-backed brand portfolios, helping them understand what's going wrong with their acquisitions. So I see inside a lot of deals. I've now seen this story play out dozens of times across the aggregator space. What happened to Beast Gear wasn't unique, it was systematic. And I have found the inside knowledge to show you exactly why it keeps happening. To understand what happened to Beast Gear, you need to understand the entire Amazon aggregator ecosystem was built on a house of cards. Between 2019 and 2021, these companies raised over $16 billion. But here's what most people didn't realize. It wasn't just equity funding. It was heavily debt-financed growth. They were borrowing money at low interest rates to buy the businesses, hoping to flip the entire portfolio before the music stopped. Was the biggest player, raising over $3 billion. But behind the glossy marketing was complete operational chaos. They were buying 2 to 3 businesses every single week at their peak. 2 to 3 businesses a week. But they had no way to actually manage what they were acquiring. Think about that. They promised hard-working entrepreneurs brand stewardship, while buying more businesses in a month than most companies acquire in a decade. The whole aggregator thesis was financial engineering disguised as brand building. They thought that they could buy brands at 3 to 4x multiples, add them to a portfolio, sell the whole thing at 8 to 12x multiples. and profit from the arbitrage. But this ignored a basic truth about brands. Value doesn't just come from financial organization. It comes from customer relationships, quality products, and building a tribe of true fans of the brand. Let me show you exactly how they pretty much killed my brand using what I call the speedboat to cruise ship disaster. When I built Beast Gear, we were like a speedboat, nimble, fast, able to change direction instantly. When my customers had problems, my team could respond personally within hours. When we saw an opportunity, we could pivot immediately. The Aggregator turned us into a cruise ship. Massive, slow, bureaucratic. There were multiple factors that drove this downfall. First, they had no organization. Despite their size, they had no unified systems across brands. Each acquisition was just bolted on to their existing chaos. I offered many times to teach them all the nimble tactics and strategies that had made the brand a success, so they could keep doing it and replicate it across their portfolio. They didn't care. Seems crazy to me that you deliberately stop doing the things that made the business successful in the first place. The biggest mess was marketing, in so many ways. I suppose it comes down to killing human connection. Instead of marketing to our specific community, they tried to appeal to everyone, which meant appealing to no one. We went from beast your goals messaging that resonated with our tribe to generic premium fitness equipment that could have been anyone. But it gets worse. The Aggregator made one of the most boneheaded decisions I've ever seen in e-commerce. They turned off Beast Gear's entire Shopify website. Think about this. We had built Beast Gear as more than just an Amazon brand. Our website was our hub, where we shared training content, connected with our community, and established ourselves as a trusted authority in fitness. It wasn't just a sales channel, it was our brand home. The Aggregator saw it as inefficient. Why maintain a website when Amazon was doing most of the sales? So they just turned it off. This had epically ridiculous consequences. First, now Amazon customers couldn't find our website, so our brand no longer looked legit, and this contributed to lower Amazon sales. Second, we had dozens upon dozens of SEO optimized blog articles which drove a ton of traffic. We literally had #1 ranked articles for huge keywords in our niche, all gone. Third, all our backlinks from magazines, newspapers, bloggers, and social media were now dead. And of course, all our social media profiles now sent customers into a black hole because they had completely abandoned social media by this point and didn't bother to change the links in our bios. But here's where the incompetence reached truly staggering levels. I had made sure that every Beast Gear product had URLs and QR codes printed on the packaging and inserts. These took customers to useful resources, user guides, demo videos, training tips. When the Aggregator killed our website, every single one of those URLs died. Thousands of customers, people who had just spent their hard-earned money on our products, landed on error pages. Imagine the experience. You buy a beast rope. You're excited to learn proper technique. You scan the QR code on the package and nothing. Dead link. Error 404. That's not just bad customer service, that's brand suicide. We went from being helpful experts to looking like amateurs who didn't give a damn about our customers' success. No wonder reviews started to tank. I expressed my frustration with the new owners many times. I actually recorded videos to try to help them. Here's a few clips from one such video. Make sure you watch them all. They get more laughably bad as we go through them.
So let's just start here, right, on the listing for the Beast Rope. So it's completely different than it used to be. And it used to sit at like it was showing 4.5 gold stars, so it was above 4.3. It was probably something like 4.7. And now it's tanked. And you guys have amalgamated the 3 listings, which I gotta tell you is a mistake. Because now, rather than having 3 listings on page 1, when you search for a skipping rope, there's now just one with 3 child variants. So you've lost real estate there and lost opportunity. So that's a mistake, which has obviously contributed to a fall in revenues and profits. You've also only got 3 of the ropes there, so you don't have the beast rope fire. So if you're going to do it, you need to do it with all 4 variants, not just 3 of them. But the images have completely changed, and that's okay, but only if the images are good. So this image is not even the beast rope, right? This is what you've done here is you've photoshopped the beast rope logo on a different product, and I don't think that eyelet there looks like the one on the beast rope. So that's not great. This logo here, this is literally what happens when you accidentally click the button in Microsoft Paint that inverts the colors. That is not the beast rope logo. That somebody's made a mistake there, and it's been published on many other images, and it's really poor. It doesn't look professional. It looks like just some product that someone slapped on Amazon and stuck a logo on, rather than being a legitimate brand, which is what I tried to do with the business. And there's another one here. This is embarrassing. Look at this. This guy is photoshopped using something that's not even a beast rope. Why not use a photograph of somebody using one of our products?
That was pretty bad, but here's some more dumbassery.
Here we can see somebody wearing the boxing hand wraps, but what doesn't make any sense, well, first of all, you can clearly see that it's been photoshopped with the beast rope in there. But this model has got long painted pink nails. No female boxer has long painted pink nails when they're training in a boxing gym wearing boxing hand wraps. It doesn't make sense, and it's probably a little bit disrespectful to female boxers.
Here's a really stupid one.
This guy's wearing a different brand's boxing hand wraps, which is basically the same as Nike having a picture of their sneakers and the model is wearing an Adidas t-shirt.
This issue really annoyed me.
3.6 out of 5 with 11 ratings. Now this product was launched after I sold the business. Part of the agreement was that Thrasio would launch products and I would have a commission on them and I would help with the launch. I was expecting to launch like maybe 3 products a quarter. We've launched 3 products. 3 just before I sold it, or 3 were ready just before I sold it and 3 after, so call it 6. We should have launched, more like 24 by now. Why are there only 11 ratings? If I had been involved in this, which I was supposed to be, we would have had probably well over 100 reviews. Probably close to 1,000 by now. 3.6, I mean, what's the point? No one's going to buy it now.
Here is one of many examples of a failed product launch and bizarrely not using our own products in the product photos. Insane.
We still have, so this product is now out of stock. Come on, it's got to be back in stock by now. We launched it and it's got 14 reviews. If I'd been involved, it would have probably close to 200 and much higher review ratings. If we look at the listing, it's just poor. This model should be wearing Beast Gear clothes. She should be using a Beast Gear skipping rope. It shouldn't be photoshopped. This logo, again, what's with the logo? I actually had images made for you for the new products, and you've used your own images, which are not as good as the ones I had. Why? Why not just take everything that was great about the business that you bought and keep doing it?
This one is utterly ridiculous. Laughably bad. Check this out.
This model is wearing somebody else's boxing gloves instead of Beast Gear boxing gloves. And it's clearly photoshopped. Again, it's like a Nike advert where the model's wearing Adidas clothing. Same problem here. Again, I had images made for you, but you're using your own, which are not as good. The enhanced brand content, again, this logo. I mean, didn't anybody look at this and say, well, that looks really poor, let's not do that, that logo doesn't look right? Who authorized it?
Here's where I explain to them about their total lack of strategy for the website.
The blogs, right? I was writing articles for you, and we had a consistent methodology, and then we would email our customers once a week about it. We had a great email marketing strategy which was driving about 30% of the website revenue. You guys stopped us from doing it. Now I don't know who's doing it anymore, but I would imagine they're not doing a very good job because there's no articles to send. So if you don't, you've got 5 articles since you stopped me doing it a long time ago, and now you don't have a reason to email everybody because you're not producing content, and your content you are making doesn't make sense. Keto bodybuilding. We're not a keto brand. So yeah, just if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And a personal favorite of mine, the total breakdown of social media strategy.
So Dan was doing the social stuff. You stopped him from doing it 3 months ago, and no one has posted since then. Instagram was a key part of the strategy. I will send you a link to some training that I produced on Instagram, but essentially Instagram was a keystone. Social media, Instagram, Facebook was a keystone part of the whole on Amazon, off Amazon strategy. And when you get rid of it, the whole thing falls apart. This was how we would gather reviews. I can send you a link to my Instagram training, which will help you. You can apply it to your other brands. I'm giving it to you for free. So as soon as you stop doing the things that make the brand fantastic that you bought in the first place, no wonder it falls to pieces. So it's embarrassing. We've got inserts on the products, every product, driving people to Instagram, where we had a great strategy for getting reviews and getting their email address and getting them onto our own website. Now that's fallen to bits. People then land on our Instagram, and we're supposed to be a professional brand. We haven't posted in 3 months.
It gets worse. The idiocy levels you are about to watch are off the chart.
This first one, Facebook ad. The guy is using a barbell pad. It's not Beast Gear's barbell pad. This Facebook ad. Beast your body in 28 days. We don't sell 28-day fitness. By the way, the image is awful. Like, it's so photoshopped. We don't sell 28-day fitness plans. And then the model, it says Beast Cardio Pack, and the model is performing a deadlift. Doesn't make sense. When you click on this ad, it leads to this sales page, which is a sales page for the Beast-Rope Pro. Doesn't make any sense, so it's going to have no conversion rate. And then it's called the Beast Pro, so it doesn't even say Beast-Rope Pro. So the whole thing just doesn't tie together. 28-day fitness plan, cardio pack, deadlifting, links to a sales page for a skipping rope. Complete nonsense. It reduces trust with the customer, who doesn't know what thinks we don't know what we're talking about. They think it's just some random scam online. This Facebook ad, build up your endurance. Build up endurance with pictures of strength and conditioning products. And we don't sell endurance products. We're not an endurance brand.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense. Change your habits, change your life. Okay. Pretty awful generic quote. Copy is completely unrelated to the sale. Beast Cardio Pack. A person doing a deadlift with change your habits, change your life. So again, makes no sense. Quote doesn't make sense. Image doesn't make sense. Cardio Pack doesn't make sense. And then when you land on you land on the sales page, it takes you to some strength training equipment. So embarrassing. You know, that logo. And it's embarrassing because you're still using my name. Let me show you this. Right, check this out. Right, so we land on the ad, right? And it says new Amazon product. So you're sell it on Amazon, that's fine. But run the ad to the website, not Amazon. And don't call it an Amazon product because you're diluting the brand. It's not an Amazon product, it's a Beast Gear product.
And the incompetence here is beyond embarrassing.
This is an email that I received from your email marketing team. I have no idea what is going on here. This guy is wearing a pair of weightlifting knee sleeves while standing on a mat for skipping, whilst wearing a pair of boxing hand wraps whilst lifting a dumbbell. It's like a quadruple whammy of crapness. Who set this photo up and said, oh, I know, we'll get a guy to wear boxing hand wraps whilst wearing weightlifting knee sleeves and standing on a skipping mat?
And there are many more examples. Obviously, all these marketing mistakes were bad enough, but it dripped over into poor customer experience too. Remember in a previous episode, I shared those clever WhatsApp videos sent to each customer? Gone. All our clever chatbot flows? Gone. Our email marketing, which drove 30% of website revenue? Gone. In fact, they deleted the Klaviyo email marketing account. So we lost our entire email list, which would have been handy to have for our rescue mission. In my book, I talk about the importance of making sure your brand has some degree of moat around it, and that it sits in blue ocean, your own space where you're not competing directly with everyone else. Beast Gear had found its blue ocean. We weren't just another fitness brand, we were the brand for everyday athletes who wanted professional quality gear without the premium price. Part of our moat was our clever marketing, customer service, and the fact that we did all the work outside of Amazon to crush our competition. The aggregator threw us right back into the red ocean. We became just another generic fitness brand competing on price and features with no unique positioning, no authentic story, no reason for customers to choose us over anyone else. In fact, because of how terrible it looked, they gave customers a great reason not to choose us. But this wasn't just happening to Beast Gear. The entire aggregator model was collapsing. My buyer laid off hundreds of employees. Multiple aggregators went bankrupt. The whole sector lost billions in value. So why did this happen? It happened because you can't build lasting businesses by destroying what makes them valuable in the first place. I showed this in the last episode, but it bears repeating here. This review sums up the decline not just of my brand, but so many brands lost in a black hole of aggregator incompetence. Originally, it was a 5-star review titled "Thanks Ben at Beast Gear," praising the personal service from my team. Then the customer edited to "Now just another brand." Finally, they edited it again to "Another 3 stars lost, all very automated or corporate." This was one customer's journey from superfan to disappointed buyer, multiplied across thousands of customers. Watching Beast Gear deteriorate was heartbreaking. Every negative review felt personal because I knew it didn't have to be that way. But here's what this taught me about the difference between building wealth and building value. Aggregators were focused on financial engineering, buying low, optimizing costs, selling high. But real brand value comes from something they couldn't understand: genuine human connection. Now, don't get me wrong. I know one-man band personal brands do not scale. But I didn't do that. I had a team, I had automations, and I had systems. Your customers don't care about your EBITDA margins. They care about how you make them feel. They choose you not because you're the cheapest or most optimized, but because they trust you, relate to you, feel seen by you. That's why small, nimble brands can beat massive corporations. We can be speedboats in a world of cruise ships. We can respond personally when they can only respond systematically. The aggregators failed because they abandoned the emotions, connection, and the meaning at the heart of the brands they bought. They got mixed up between generic, commodity-driven Amazon accounts and the real brands with true brand identity and true fans. So, that's how a multi-billion-dollar company with hundreds of employees managed to destroy what one guy with a laptop had built. But this story isn't over. For the next episode onwards, we'll start unpacking the rescue mission itself, exactly how we're rebuilding customer trust and bringing back the authentic brand identity, strategies, and tactics that made Beast Gear a success in the first place. We'll unpack some of the issues I've raised today in more detail, and the part I'm most excited for is the guest interviews, where I bring experts on from every topic, from product development to patents to graphic design, to help us turn the brand around. If this episode opened your eyes to why the aggregator model was doomed from the start, smash that like button, subscribe with notifications on, because we're about to get into the real rescue mission. I would love to hear your comments. The comeback starts now. See you in the next episode.